Are you sensitive to your environment and other people's energies? Perhaps you have this deep inner knowing and you just don't know why you know things, but you know things. Well, if you feel that way and you haven't dived into your human design chart yet, I highly recommend that you do, because you may be 1% of the population, which is a reflector. And if so, then you want to keep on listening to this episode because this is all about reflectors. Keep on listening. Hey you, your next level of expansion is here. And you're not going to accomplish it through hustle and grind. Oh no, not you. You allow ease and flow to come through you so that you can manifest the business of your dreams. Welcome to the Aligned Businesswoman podcast, where you get to be in flow and allow your strategic CEO to meet your inner goddess. This is the podcast for female entrepreneurs who want to strengthen their intuition muscle while applying simple and practical business growth strategies to accelerate it. We'll combine energetics and strategy along with human design and your gene keys to optimize your business performance and results. Hey, it is Human Design Awareness Month in the Aligned Businesswoman world. No, it's not a real thing, but I am making it something that I'm going to do every single year in my business right around the springtime. Every week this month, we're diving into the different human design types. And inside the Aligned Businesswoman Facebook group, you can access a pop quiz to make sure that what you're learning is integrated. And I'm also giving you some journal prompts so that you can embody your human design type. So make sure you join the Aligned Businesswoman Facebook group so you can get this bonus exercise. All right, let's dive in. Today is the day that Manifestation Lab opens with a new and improved vibe, look, and all the things. So we haven't officially launched Manifestation Lab, which is formerly Manifestation School. We've been doing a pre-launch, just kind of warming things up. And so this May, we're going to go full on launch mode to open doors to people that want to join this membership. And so today we actually started our very first embodiment challenge. If you haven't listened to the past episodes, or if you're not in my circle inside the Aligned Businesswoman Facebook group or in any of these places that I hang out, maybe you're new to the podcast, let me just kind of catch you up on some things. Last year, I launched Manifestation School. It was a beta launch for me to really test out the content, the group, the community, all the things for teaching people how to use their human design and their gene keys for manifestation. Well, fast forward a year, all the research I've been doing, all the observations have concluded that people are getting really stuck on the content. They're getting stuck in their head instead of getting into their bodies and applying the information that they're learning. So we decided to upgrade it. And when I say me, I mean me and all my personalities. And now it is Manifestation Lab because it's all focused around experimentation and exploration of your human design. So it's not just you learning something, it's you participating in these challenges that are experimentations of like, hey, try this for your human design type, or try this if you have this center open or if you have this center defined. And then I manifested this without even realizing. Now we actually have our own resident expert astrologer inside the group, where she's going to be hosting monthly astrology forecasts. And that is Christine Wheeler. I'm so excited about that because her business and my business are so aligned, but she covers the astrology part of it. And so today is the first day that we start our embodiment challenge, focused all around learning how to apply your human design and learning how to follow your strategy. It's so exciting. Next week on May 7th is going to be the first astrology forecast call with Catherine. So if you have not joined Manifestation Lab yet, you're going to want to join like right now. The link is probably in the show notes so you can join us. But the reason why I bring that up is that I wanted to give you a little bit behind the scenes of the quick bite-sized content that we have in there, where I explain human design in a way that it's not like this jargon that's like, wait, what? It's really simplified and it's easy to understand so you can apply it to your life and your business. And so I'm going to give you the recording from the module all about reflectors. It's like only 18 minutes. I break it down and I go through like what it means to be a reflector and some of the things that they can experience when they're in their not self theme, what their not self theme is, what their signature theme is, all the things. So you're going to be able to get a little bit behind the scenes and kind of get a feel for what it's going to be like to be in Manifestation Lab whenever you join. So let's get to the behind the scenes. Reflectors are a very rare and unique type because they make up only 1% of the population. They are known for their ability to mirror the health and well being of their environment. So, if you know a little bit about human design, then you know that the reflectors are the ones with all open or undefined centers. So, when you have these spaces open, what does it mean? That you can fill other people's energy in those open spaces. So, you have this spaciousness to be able to reflect and take in other people's energy. Reflectors possess all undefined centers, like I just mentioned, making them highly sensitive to energies around them and adept at reflecting the collective state. So, not just the people around you, but if I bring in the neuroscience and studies around energetics, when a study measured the infrared energy from our bodies, they found that the infrared energy from our brains extends at least 3 feet from our bodies, and our heart and our aura is 6 feet. And that is just what we have right now to measure. Like, those are the tools that we have to measure. Who knows? In the future, any kind of advancements in technology, we might be able to measure things differently. So, therefore, reflectors can take in energy from people that are not necessarily like right next to them, but maybe in the room as them. And so they, depending on their own awareness, they can either absorb it and get out of alignment or get into their not self theme, or they can reflect it back to the people in that space. So they are characterized by their fluidity, their ability to adapt. Reflectors have the potential to understand humanity and the world on a deep level because, again, they can access that energy from other people. And really, when they're in that alignment, they know what to do with that energy. They know that it's not theirs. They can discern what's theirs and what is not. And so, not accepting other people's energies as their own to bring them down, but really to reflect back and to help other people heal at a deeper level. The role of reflectors is to serve as mirrors for the community, reflecting the health, dynamics, and changes within the environment. They provide objective insights and perspectives thanks to their unique ability to see things from various viewpoints. When we get into the centers, you'll realize that some of the open centers, like for instance, the Ajna center, when you have that open or undefined, that makes you a person that is more open minded. And so when the reflectors have all of their spaces open, they have an ability to see things and experience things and feel things from different perspectives. Their success and well-being are closely tied to the quality of their relationships and their environment, the environment they inhibit, because with this, like I'd mentioned before, like in that environment, what's around them, they're taking all of that in. And it's not just quote unquote human energy that they're taking in, but they're taking in the energy of all the things because a pen is made of energy, our desk is made of energy, our pets are made of energy. So it is important for reflectors to have an environment that is supportive of their own health so that they can be healthy to reflect back to others when they're not healthy or when they're in their most optimized health. The strategy for reflectors is to wait a lunar cycle. Now, I know sometimes people are, if you're a reflector, like, I can't wait a whole 28 days to decide on something to go eat, or, that is important for reflectors to keep a journal and really exercise their decision making skills and strategy. Because for waiting for the lunar cycle, I would advise that's going to be for major decisions in your life, as well as decisions that you haven't made in the past and you don't maybe it's like a new situation that you're experiencing, then I definitely would recommend waiting for that lunar cycle. But if it's like, should I go on a date with this guy? I mean, if you're feeling okay and in the past you went on a date with him and you're thinking, okay, maybe I'll go one more date, then, that's this weekend. Then you can decide on that. But you really get to journal and reflect and kind of keep record of your past decisions and ask yourself, what was happening before? Was I in alignment here? What was the experience that led me to this decision? And then how did it come out? However, I want you to be mindful that sometimes our mind wants to play tricks on us, and it wants to give us evidence of all the times we made poor decisions and show us like, oh, you got to be safe because of this, and that. That is why keeping a journal and reflecting and just really providing yourself evidence with all the times you made great decisions and what led up to it and then what happened afterwards is going to be very, very key for reflectors. So this strategy allows reflectors to process and reflect on their experiences through changing lunar phases, gaining clarity and insight. Now, I tell my clients, especially those that have the emotional solar plexus open, is that sometimes just breaking away from people to cut off the energy, the back and forth energy from them so that you can tune in to decide or to discern what are my feelings, because the solar plexus is the center for emotions. Um, and differentiate like, oh no, that was just someone else's anger, that was someone else's sadness. So the same thing is great for reflectors, is to go into a space where you're alone and you get to reflect and you get to gain clarity and cut off your energy from other people in that moment so that you can discern what was your energy and what was someone else's. So that is my recommendation. If you don't have a lunar cycle, if you don't have that time length to make a decision, you need to make a decision fast, I would give yourself some time alone away from other people's energies. And then also, if it's a decision that maybe you're getting stuck in your logical mind, just kind of journal out, depleting all of the thoughts and depleting any kind of emotions from your body as you are journaling out will also help you release some of the energies from other people so that you can get into your body and then make that decision for you. Patience and timing are very key, so they enable reflectors to align their actions with their deeper rhythms and cycles. And speaking of cycles, human design reflectors, you have this rhythm to you, because if you think about it, you kind of have a rhythm that goes with the lunar cycle. So learning that rhythm and that cycle for yourself is going to be very important. So I would put that in your journal and your reflection journal to kind of like tune in, set some time aside every single week or every single morning or night and really reflect. Something that I like to do, and I'm not a reflector, I'm a generator, but at the end of the day, I like to ask myself, what went right today? Instead of what went wrong, I like to focus on what went right. And so you get to really see on paper all the things that went right for you. And then from there, you can decide, oh, how did I get to this? What are the decisions I made that allow this to happen? And you're just creating more positivity because you're focusing, you're programming your reticular activating system to look for all the things that are going right for you. So the same thing for reflectors, I recommend kind of looking at those things, like what went right for me today, and see if you can identify any patterns or rhythms in your cycle. Now, moving on to the not self theme of reflectors, which is disappointment. Another great reason to have that journal where you're reflecting and you're gathering evidence is to identify and pinpoint decisions or situations or people that bring you disappointment. When out of alignment, reflectors can experience disappointment, and this is a signal of a disconnection from their environment and their community. And so a disconnection doesn't necessarily have to mean that there is no love between, you and your community, but it just feels something that is out of whack, I guess. Maybe it's throwing you off. Maybe there's clutter in your environment, or there's maybe clutter in your relationships, which lead to disappointment. So this serves as an indicator to reevaluate your surroundings and seek spaces where you feel recognized and valued. That's another form of disconnection where you're like, they're not listening to me. They're not they're not seeing me. And so that can lead to disappointment in other people and disappointment in yourself. Now, the next thing is your signature theme, which is surprise. So, an element of surprise or delight, however you want to experience that or label that. But when you're living true to your nature, this brings a sense of surprise and delight and celebrating the unexpected joys and variations of life. So kind of think of it like serendipitous, like, it's like, oh, this is, serendipity, oh, wow, this was a happy surprise. I wasn't expecting this. And allowing things to, um, you know, I think going back to the whole like waiting for a lunar cycle to decide on something, maybe sometimes just surrendering and trusting that what you needed to decide on was going to have the outcome that you want. And so that goes back to like being happily surprised, like, oh, wow, this is unexpected and this turned out okay. But again, you still want to be able to journal and create that evidence and like just that awareness. It's kind of like this. Um, do you remember the movie 50 First Dates? And I think of this like in for all people. So not just reflectors, but really women in general, how sometimes we do this work and we forget our greatness because we had a bad day and we just kind of revert back to things like, oh, I'm not cut out for these things and blah, blah, blah. So in the movie 50 First Dates, at the end, he plays a video because she would wake up and always forget their life together. So she plays a video and then she watches a video and then she goes back on the top of the sailboat and she remembers that she married this guy and they were in love. So it's kind of like that, using that evidence, that journal, this could be for reflectors, but or any type of human design type energy, using that as evidence to remind you, like, wait a minute, no, this is my truest essence. This is my power. These are my talents. These are my gifts. This is what fills me up, etc. So I always think about that. Sometimes when we get off track because something bad happened, we forget our power. As a reflector, your ability to remain open and fluid leads to experiences filled with wonder and deep appreciation for life. Creating a safe environment to retreat will help protect your energy. Remember what I mentioned, if you're having to make a big decision, just sometimes disconnecting from other people that might influence your decisions or your feelings is very key so that you can get grounded. So navigating your energy as a reflector. Don't mind this graphic here because reflectors do not have any centers defined. Be mindful that you have a sampling aura, meaning you get to sample other people's energies. I think that like a shape shifter, you get to kind of just shape your identity, shape your feelings, all the things, and you get to cater to how you want to experience life. With no defined centers, reflectors experience energy in waves, influenced by the moon and people around you. Remember, you get to discern what is your energy and what is someone else's. Embracing your changeable nature allows you to flow with these energies rather than feeling overwhelmed or lost. So instead of thinking like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? Remember that this is your strength to be able to flow and change up your own energy and your own experiences. So there are, of course, some challenges faced by reflectors, and just being aware of these things are going to help you navigate your life, your business, and your manifestation strategies. So the first thing is finding stability in your fluid nature, creating consistent identities in the world that values definite. So like, okay, definiteness. Meaning, when we're in a world that we're like, just be consistent or, be one way of doing things, you can't be a jack of all trades. Well, reflectors have a hard time really finding their place because we live in a society that wants consistency from us, but we can change, we can be fluid. So that can be a struggle. Managing your own openness and sensitivity without becoming overly influenced or losing your own sense of identity, your own sense of self. Again, it's so important to be able to have your own time to reflect and disconnect from other people's energies. If you are a coach, oh, hold on, Oliver's, or someone that is, always working with other people, allowing yourself some time to decompress after those conversations is very important. So seeking and maintaining environments that respect and honor your unique way of processing and reflecting is very key. So let's talk about empowering reflectors. So you as a reflector or the reflectors in your life. Cultivate environments and communities that understand and value your reflective nature. Sometimes people get triggered if they are in a space where they they understand that reflectors are going to reflect back to them some things that they may not want to be, you know, known, or they don't want to experience, or they don't want to be reminded of. So making sure that you're in a space that allows that and welcomes it, because even though you don't initially come out and maybe reflect something back to someone by saying, hey, did you notice that you're like this? But sometimes people just get this experience. And so making sure that you are with people that are fully grounded and will appreciate that reflection, that reflective nature that you have to offer. You're going to practice discernment in absorbing other people's energy and guarding against becoming overwhelmed by negative influences. And lastly, honor your need for a variety and change, embracing your unique rhythm in life and decision making. So let's talk about leveraging your human design for manifestation. Aligning with your lunar cycles. Use the lunar cycle as a guide for timing your manifestations and aligning your intentions with the moon's phases for deeper resonance. When we do the embodiment challenge for your type and strategy, you'll learn more about the different options on how to time your manifestations and what to really think about. Next, embracing fluidity. Stay open to the changing nature of your desires of the world around you, allowing for flexibility in your manifestation process. Don't make yourself wrong because you change your mind. Creating supportive environments. Focus on cultivating environments that nourish and support you, as your surroundings play a crucial role in your ability to manifest. Valuing community feedback. Leverage your community as a sounding board for your ideas and intentions, using their reflections to clarify and refine your path. I highly recommend finding a friend that you trust, that when you are in that space where you're like, I have to make a decision sooner than a lunar cycle, that they can be your sounding board, your like voice of reason. Celebrating surprise. Remain open to the unexpected. The last slide. Reflectors are the cosmic mirrors, so manifesting through reflection and rhythm. Utilize the lunar cycle as a natural rhythm for setting intentions and making decisions, tapping into the cosmic flow. What's going to be really great for you are the monthly astrology forecasts with Catherine, because you get to really see like what is going on in the cosmos so that you can align your decisions with that. Next, embrace your unique experiences of surprise as indicators of being in flow with the universe and celebrating the magic of life. And lastly, understand your presence and reflections serve as powerful tools for influencing and guiding those around you toward health and harmony. That is just a little behind the scenes of the Human Design Library inside Manifestation Lab. That is not even the tip of the iceberg, because the embodiment challenges is where we really integrate and apply human design. We activate your divine feminine and your divine masculine to work together to really supercharge your manifestation powers. So I want to see you inside the Manifestation Lab. Until next time on the next episode of the Aligned Businesswoman podcast. Bye-bye for now. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Aligned Businesswoman podcast. I'm your host, Vanessa Ann Miller, and I'm so excited to share some goodies with you. Head over to the show notes so you can grab your free gift, and make sure to leave a review and join me inside the Aligned Businesswoman Facebook group. Until next week, bye-bye, my love.